Hey everyone, so today we're going to be talking about planting bare roots, bare root vegetable or bare root fruits, for example. In this case, I have a strawberry in my hand here and a bunch of strawberry bare roots that I just planted recently. And this is going to be more of a generic bare root video where we kind of talk about some of the best things, best practices that you can leverage for the highest percentage chance of success, right? So today we're going to talk about three things that I found apply to pretty much every bare root, and nothing specific to the strawberry that we have here today. And the first one that I want to cover is where you source or get your bare root plants from. So in my hand right here, this is a bare root that I purchased from a distributor online. It is from Burpee. There's no affiliation or sponsorship there, just where I ordered from. And there are other farms and distributors that do the same thing. But what's great about theirs is that they time it on their end so that you have the highest success on your end. So they didn't ship it to me until it was time for me to plant. And not to mention, they just pack it and ship it right away so that you have the lowest amount of time where these guys are not in the ground. Whereas the ones that I got here, there's 20 in this tower, but only 3 are green. So the one over there, this little tiny one in the center, and the one that we just saw. And when you buy them, so in my case, I bought them from a big box store like Home Depot, you can't see what's inside. So you can't tell what are green, what are not. And to be honest, most of them looked like this. They say that they will start growing in a few weeks, but I would rather start with something like this than something that looks dry and barely holding on. The one from the big box store are cheaper. I think they were around 50 cents per bare root, whereas these were $1. But I'm willing to pay the extra price because I think there's a higher success rate. I imagine all of mine from Burpee or any other farm will be surviving, whereas here I'm looking at a 15% success rate so far. Not looking great. All right, the second tip is to soak your bare roots in water at least 30 minutes before you plan on planting them. This is how you get them right here in a pack, and it's kind of like hair, where if you don't soak them, it can be really hard to pull apart. But soaking in them in some water really helps. A second thing that helps as well is that the fact that they've been transplanting, there's very little moisture as they're transporting, so it gives them that jolt, being able to wake up and soak up all that water that they haven't had in some time. So that applies whether it's just a single bare root, or in this case, I have 25 bare root in the bucket. All right, so for the third tip, let's talk about how we plant the bare roots. As you can see here, even for a single strawberry bare root, there are loads of roots. So we don't want to just plant it straight down, because then it kind of acts like a single big root. So what you want to do is spread things out a bit. And one way I like to do that is I almost like to kind of create this little inverted dome in a way and plant it on top. I'm going to use this for demonstration purposes, but I like to spread out the roots like this. So as you can see, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just so that they're spread out a bit. And as you can see here, doing it this way, let me get you a closer view. Doing it this way has roots all over. You want to spread those roots around so that it can kind of grow in multiple locations and absorb the nutrients from multiple locations, and not just, like, for example, planting it straight through the bottom. And you can see there's less roots being spread around, right? It's only grabbing the nutrients from the center location. If you're watering it, it's only absorbing water from, again, that center location. All right, so I actually thought of 2 more reasons while I was reviewing and editing the video. So the next reason, which probably should have been like the first or second one, is that you want to plant them right away. Similar to the one of the earlier reasons, which was to soak them in water so they absorb it. You know, they've been transporting and they haven't had any water. You want to put them in a better environment as soon as possible. So planting them as soon as you can is the best environment you can put them in. You can store them longer, but the longer you wait, the lower the lower the chances of them growing properly. And the last reason that I have is that you do need to maintain the moisture levels while you grow them initially. So for the first 4 to 6 weeks roughly, you will need to make sure that the soil is moist, not waterlogged, but at least moist as the roots are starting to establish themselves. So you'll probably notice that it's very easy to pull those roots out. And so they haven't really taken hold of the soil and surroundings. So during that time, you really need to make sure that the soil is moist so that they can absorb as much nutrients and moisture during the initial phases. Once you get out of that 4 to 6 week window, you can probably taper back and kind of like resume a normal watering schedule. So I hope this helps everyone, and have a good one.